Miles, you finished pre-season this afternoon with a 3-0 win over Salford. Just how do you assess that performance as a whole?
It's really pleasing. We've probably saved the best performance till last in terms of pre-season, which is good going into next week, good going into the games coming up in the season. But no, all the stuff we've been working on throughout the whole of pre-season really came to life today, and you want that to happen, to build momentum going into next week.
I mean, it's a victory on the board, but you were tested a little bit. You got a red card in the second half, and for a manager going into a season having to go down to 10 and practice that in a game situation, that must be beneficial as well.
Yeah, he won on purpose. But yeah, obviously the red card came, and look, it means that the team, both staff and players, have to adapt to that, and we have to be ready, because you can play with 10 men in football, whether it's for small periods of time with injuries, or whether it's obviously red card scenarios. So we managed to practice that today, and what was most pleasing was the team worked that extra bit. They covered those extra yards that you need to cover when you've got one less on the pitch, and they adapted really well. The organisation was great. Salford still weren't able to play through us when we got into our shape, and we played smartly as well. The game was done at that point. We moved the ball well. We didn't let them have it, and we played smartly, which is pleasing when we was down to 10.
And looking at the pre-season games as a whole, you played teams from varying levels of the pyramid. Was that by design? Is that so you can get sort of different challenges along the way before the season starts?
Yeah, definitely. You always want to challenge yourself. You want to make sure that you have a few wins, a few losses, because the team have to react to everything. And it's been a pre-season where it's been it's been a bit disjointed in the sense of people away and new signings coming in and new faces and all the rest of it, but the team have been absolutely superb with dealing with all of that, and they've just gone out every week, done what we've asked them to do. They've trusted the things that we're asking them to do, and today it all came together, which is nice, and as I said, we can now build that momentum going into next week. And
the results aren't really the main thing for probably coaching staff-wise. You've got new players in the group, new relationships to be formed, so how are you feeling where that is at the minute with a week to go?
It's probably the most pleasing thing. The pictures that were coming off today, in possession, out of possession, with the system that we've been working on, it's the most pleasing thing. If we lost that game today 1-0 or we drew it 0-0, we would have walked away delighted as coaching staff. The players might have acted differently, but we said at half time, all that's missing is a goal. That was it, 0-0 at half time. But everything that we did with the ball today, everything we did without the ball today was really pleasing. And you still remember there's a few trialists in the game today. There's still players that have been away. So in terms of, as I said, that little bit of where it's disjointed slightly, you can expect that because you've got new faces in. But to be honest, you couldn't recognise that huge amounts. It was really pleasing.
And a week to go now. How is your head in terms of where your team is at? Obviously, probably a few more announcements from us to come this week with people probably to come in and everything else to be confirmed. But where is your head at with a week to go to Darwin in the first game of the season?
Yeah, I mean, look, that was a bit of a teaser. We definitely do. We've got some more announcements coming in. We've got players coming in. We're still building the staff team, and it's taken us longer than we first anticipated for many different reasons, but we're getting there now, and the team that we're building on the pitch but off the pitch as well, it's really pleasing. It's really pleasing, and we've got all the right people in place, and we're getting the last couple of additions in, and then once we're there, we'll be really happy with the final squad and the final staff that we have, as well as all the support we get from the club. And as I say, we do everything we can and see where we end up come end of the season.